Gee Whittakers, I sure am hungry. I could go for a tasty snack. Mom, where are the potato chips?
We're done buying those. I looked into the production and I discovered some things about potato chips that were very, very worrying.
What? No! Meanwhile, in South Sudan...
Did you know that this oil rig that I'm operating is degrading to the animal habitats that it surrounds and migratory pathways? And did you know that it leads to CO2 emissions and global warming and oil spills?
Wow, that is really depressing. But what does it have to do with my delicious potato chip snacks?
Well, for starters, potato chip bags are made from BOPP, which is non-biodegradable and sourced from oil.
Wow, that's so crazy. I didn't even consider that part of the production of potato chips. Tell me more.
It all starts with ExxonMobil in PetroChina. They have this mine in South Sudan called Higleg. There, waterways have become radioactive due to irresponsible oil disposal. This contamination causes livestock deformations, like chickens without feathers, and death, which starves the local people. The oil drilling process also pollutes the air, and exposure to this can cause cancer and death in Additionally, the oil businesses force villagers to be displaced from their homes and be moved to places with no clean water.
OMG, look what I just found. After the oil is extracted, it is mixed with ethylene to create isotactic propylene. This process happens in China in the Xingtai biotech factory. These factories release immense amounts of CO2 into the atmosphere, as well as being notorious for unfair working conditions and labor laws. Then, those isotactic propylenes go to a manufacturing facility in India to be made into BOPP fiber for the plastic bags. Consider all of the fuel that goes into the transportation of these materials from one place to another. Then, the BOPP goes to a United States factory, where it is printed with a potato chips company logo and nutrition facts using ink including fluorescent dyes that are notorious for being toxic and carcinogenic.
And don't even get me started on the chips themselves. Eating a single bag of potato chips uses approximately 137 gallons of water, equivalent to taking a 50-minute shower. And the potato chip plants discharge an average of 180,000 gallons of wastewater per day.
What the heck happens to all of that wastewater?
Well, the wastewater is discharged into a municipal water treatment system and consumes 3% of the global energy output.
Not to mention the 34 gallons of water needed to grow just 1 pound of potatoes.
Wait, how do you know that? Where are potatoes even grown in the first place?
Funny you should ask. Mostly here in America. After being harvested, they are transported to a potato chip manufacturing factory where they are sliced, fried with vegetable oil, and combined with additives like sodium bisulfate before being pumped into a nitrogen-sealed plastic bag.
Wait, slow down. What's sodium bisulfate?
It's an additive to many processed foods meant to preserve their shelf life. It's also a common ingredient in toilet cleaner and has been linked to causing genetic mutations in organisms.
Yikes.
You can say that again.
Yikes.
Okay, so the potato chips have been entirely manufactured and produced. We buy them, we eat them, and then what?
Well, potato chip bags can take up to 50 years to biodegrade, and they aren't recyclable. Instead, they end up in a landfill. If they're burned, immense amounts of greenhouse gases and microplastics are released. If they stay there, they continue to take up space for decades. Or worse, runoff or spilling leads to plastic into the ocean where they can be eaten by a marine animal, oftentimes leading to death.
Wow, that's really depressing. But guess what? It doesn't have to be this way.
Oh, really?
It's true. Instead of just throwing them in the trash, you can reuse your potato chip bags for DIY crafts, decorations, and gift wrappings.
Well, corporations have a role to play too. Like in 2021 when Frito-Lay's made compostable bags for some of their chips.
What about legislation?
I love that you asked about that. The Break Free from Plastic Pollution Act was introduced in 2021. It's yet to be passed, but it's a step that the government could take.
Wait, so what is it?
Senator Jeff Merkley of Oregon passed it. It would restrict the production and use of single-use plastics, encouraging large companies like Frito-Lay's to continue innovating their material use and distribution for a greener future.
Wow, the future is looking so bright.
I know. I'm so happy that we bonded over the manufacturing and production of potato chips. I feel much closer to you as a mother, as a friend, and as a potato chip consumer.
Aw, love you, Mom. Let's do it again sometime.